So I decided to make a video about my pictures from my trip to Washington DC to see the NHL Winter Classic on New Year's Day 2015 between Washington Capitals and Chicago Blackhawks at National Park in Washington DC. I won the trip from O. Henry and Hersey Canada. I just put in my email on the website and they picked me. So if you say, oh, I entered contests and I never win, people do win. I won and just keep trying. Here's a picture of O'Hare in Chicago. We were just here for about 2 hours for a connecting flight. We left Vancouver about 6 a.m. in the morning. And the first thing that we did in Washington was to walk down to see the White House. And here's me in front of the White House. It's about probably 8 o'clock on December 30th. So we were staying at the Washington Marriott, which was the official hotel of the Winter Classic. So most of the teams were there, the players, the NHL staff, everybody was there. You could see everybody. But here's on New Year's Eve, in the morning, we walked around Washington and we took a picture of the White House. You can even see the friends in the photo. I tried to put my camera in, but I couldn't get the full the friends out of it. But here's me in front of the Washington Memorial. I'm sorry about the black bars, but it's the only way you can fit the whole memorial in the photo. And so we just walked around Washington and looked at all the buildings. And here's the Canadian Embassy. I'm Canadian, so if I ever get in trouble in the States, like lose a passport or whatever, you come here. Then around 2 o'clock we went down to the National Park to watch the Chicago Blackhawks practice on New Year's Eve, the day before the game. We could have watched the Washington practice, but it was in the morning and we wanted to sightsee it back. Here's my brother, Alex. He came on the trip with me. He was my guest. And it was good to spend some time with my brother. I don't really spend a lot of time with him, but it was good. And here's a picture of me on the board, and you can tell I'm a little bit shorter than my brother. But you can see the little Capitol model in the background and the scoreboard for the National Park right there. And here's the Chicago Blackhawks. They were doing a semi-practice. It was pretty easy. They were just skating around, taking everything in. And most of them had their families there, so yeah, it was an easy practice for them. No drills, no bag skates. The coach was pretty nice to them. And there was about probably 50 people around the boards, different contest winners, people from Chicago, and then some groups from Washington DC, like charity groups. So everyone got to experience a practice and the Winter Classic, and it was a good experience. Here's the team photo that Chicago took, and then they broke into like a game with war amps, amputees from the war, from Army or Navy people from the US. They got to skate around with Chicago, and they did a little game, but it was not really a game because they had like 30 people on the ice, so everyone was trying to get the puck. But here's a picture of Patrick Kane, very close. He's up close and personal. Here's Jonathan Taves, number 19. Yeah, my brother took this picture very fast. He's like, oh, turn around. I take a picture. Here's a picture of our seats. We sat way with his Winter Classic in the red. We sat in that section on the R. But that was the next day. This is a little Zamboni that they use to clear the ice. It's kind of like a mini Zamboni. It's like half the size, but there was two of them. And so we went back to the hotel. We had dinner and we just had a small casual night for New Year's Eve. And this is a picture of the hotel after midnight, looking down from the 10th floor. So here's the day of the Winter Classic. It was very sunny, but it's kind of cold. It was maybe, I guess, 40 degrees Fahrenheit or probably 2 or 3 degrees centigrade. So it was okay. It was kind of cold. It was windy a bit, but we were dressed for the cold. And we got there probably 2 hours before the game, so we were there for probably 4 to 5 hours, and we just took everything in. So it was a great experience. But so the next day we just walked around Washington, went to a couple of the museums and stuff, and his pictures of Alex and me at the White House before we left. We also went to the Lincoln Memorial, and here's Lincoln, and we walked up all those stairs. I think we took the elevator halfway up or whatever. And here's a picture from the top, looking down on the reflection pond. See if there's Forrest Gump there. Then here's the final picture of the White House of a trip to Washington, D.C. And all I have to say, this is a new contest that they have this year. There's no trip to the Winter Classic, but if you enter, you have every opportunity to win, because I won it, so you can too.